Good morning to you once again. This is the AM show, and I'm Bernice Abu-Baidoo Lansah. It's time now to talk about some labor issues. As you may be aware, teachers are on strike, and some workers have threatened to join them. John Sampa is Deputy General Secretary of the Public Services Workers Union, and he joins us via phone. Good morning for your time once again. Mr. Sampa, has anything changed since we spoke to you in the morning yesterday?
Good morning, and good morning to our listeners. Nothing has changed. Of course, since we spoke, the government invited for this afternoon, and so we will go to the meeting, and after the meeting, way forward, but nothing has changed.
You are threatening a strike together with other workers who belong to the TUC on the 19th of July. What will make you backtrack, or what will make you say, okay, what deal can you accept?
When our demand is actually met, in other words, if the government use or if the president order for the payment of 20% COLA to all the categories of workers that we have demanded, we strongly believe that we should end the strike.
Mr. Sampa, I do believe that you appreciate the times that we're in. Clearly, we're going to the IMF for support. The general economic situation is nothing to write home about. Are you willing to accept a deal from government, probably a reduction in the percentage of what you're demanding, the 20%?
Well, currently, that is the demand of organized labor, and it's not one person that is able to change this demand unless we meet as organized labor group and then a decision is taken. But for now, what I can say is that the demand of the workers is 20%. When you look at the increases of prices, when you look at inflation, even the 20%, it will not commensurate to what we have lost. But we are thinking that at least when we get 20%, we can manage until the end of this year, where a new salary will have been announced. So we are hoping that we should get a 20%. But if there will be any change, if there will be any consideration, it depends on a number of metrics, and it depends on what other alternatives and solutions that the government team will bring on board. And I'm optimistic that where we have gotten now, we don't want to mess ourselves up as a country. And when we meet, government should be sincere. Government should should compose a strong team with alternative that can also commit government that when they make any pledge or they make any consideration, they will be able to honor it. Once we are confident about our discussions, I believe that Labour is not looking forward to bring the whole country down, but we are looking only for our fair share of the national cake.
So on the front page of the Finder newspaper, we see that teachers are meeting government again today. You've also mentioned that you're meeting government today. Are you all having the meeting together, or government is meeting the different worker groups? No,
the request for COLA was actually made by organized labor, all of us, and it was communicated by the Secretary General during the May Day, which letters have also been written, and individual unions, including teacher unions, have also made the same demand. So my understanding is that the fair wages that is responsible for negotiating salary, together with the Employment Ministry, Ministry of Finance, and all the stakeholders, they have called for this meeting, and they are inviting organized labor groups. So it's not only teachers that they are meeting, but they are meeting all of us.
At the same time? They're meeting all of you at the same time? Is it a sitting that includes all of you?
They are asking us to come with 2 representatives each from the unions, together with TUC and all the other organized labor groups, and they have the list over there. I think their letter is also in the media, inviting us for the meeting, and the list of the people that are supposed to attend. So I can confirm that the Public Services Workers Union, TUC Ghana, including TUC itself, will be represented adequately at the meeting, and we look forward that government will come with solutions and say that, look, I will consider your 20%. These are the timelines, and then we can actually take a consideration of our.
The National Labour Commission gave with regards to the teachers, speaking about the teachers' concerns specifically, gave the Ministry of Education, the Ghana Education Service, and the Minister of Employment some 7 days to negotiate and get back to it. We have about 2 days to go for that ultimatum to be reached. Your strike is for the 19th, which is also a few days away from today. We're expecting the mid-year budget review tomorrow. How soon do you expect your negotiations to happen? And what is your expectation ahead of that particular mid-year budget review?
Thank you very much. If we want to avert this massive call for strike by the public services workers, and we are not talking about just one institution, 65 critical national institutions. If we want to avert this, obviously we have to use today's meeting. We are meeting the teachers that have already started the strike and support them, but we also have to go through certain structures of our union before we could declare strike, and that is what we did last week Friday, and now the notice has been given. So government is meeting all of us because all of us are making the same 20% COLA demand. So they have to put all of them together and then address it so that when we are taking a decision that we are calling off or the issue has been resolved, it has been resolved because everybody is satisfied. If you resolve for only teachers and you don't resolve for the others will also go on strike. Now, if government, because sometimes you cannot really trust government has been agreeing with workers on a number of things, but they don't honor it. So we wouldn't also want to be deceived. So we have given our notice, making sure that we also satisfy the law, so that should the government come and only come with plea without any tangible solution, we will have satisfied the law and also go on strike the same way that we have communicated.
Mr. Sampa, you've told us that 20% is what you're demanding, and we are not sure if there will be any reduction if government proposes it. But besides the 20% of your salary you're requesting for as cost of living allowance, are you willing to accept a deal that says we will pay you, but not now? Government is not in a position to pay you now. Are you willing to accept a promise of future payment?
That is what I'm saying, that, well, I am not able to take this decision because the entire organized labor will have to take this decision. Taking the decision, we have to take into consideration the promises of government to other public sector institutions in the past and how they have honored it. And government has not really kept to a number of promises. And we have to assess the situation very well, whether we have to accept it or not, whether we have to go into an MOU. Has government been able to respect all its MOU? I mean, government agree with UTAC, it will not obey it for over 3 years. Labour Commission will order government to take care of it. The government will not do it. So we have to look at all these things and have to find out whether we have to use any other means. But I strongly believe that we should enter into this negotiation with clear mind. We should enter into this negotiation in good faith, which the law requires of us. And we are committed to doing that. I strongly believe that if government comes in sincerity and there are tangible solutions with that deadline, as a reasonable people, we should put our thoughts together as organized labor. And I believe this challenge is not greater than us. We should be able to resolve government and labor together.
In having this discussion since the teachers went on strike, we know that TUC made this demand on May Day, and the calls for COLA preceded government's decision to go to the IMF. But even as government has decided to go to the IMF, doesn't that give a hint to organized labor that government is in distress and that probably these demands could have, you could have held on to the demands until things probably return to a certain level of normalcy?
Not at all. Not at all. If the country is in crisis and and we really want to go to IMF, there are a number of things that we have to do. And the workers will not agree, always sacrificing our interests. Nevertheless, the people that manage the economy, they have never sacrificed their own interests.
There's been a 30% cut in salaries.
30% cut of what? 30% cut of something that was increased about 54% or more. 30% cut of 40,000 or 50,000 or 50,000. Compare that one to the teacher that have worked for over 26 years who take not up to 3,000 Ghana cedis. 30% cut of what? 30% cut of the person who is already accommodated, house, paid utilities, everything. 30% cut of what? When they speak that way, they actually infuriate us the more. The point is that if we are in crisis, there are a number of things that we can do. And pay cut alone is not sufficient. We have to sit down and restructure our priorities. There are things that government is committed and in hurry to do, as if the world is about coming to an end. Why can't we wait and also consider the person that should go and collect your taxes, the person that should work on government machinery at the ministries, the person that is teaching the students? Why wouldn't government also consider to take care of that person and put on hold on few other things, or restructure certain government policies?
So in clear terms,
why are we always on employee salary?
Mr. Sampah,
people that receive about 1,500, 1,200, 1,800.
Let's speak in practical terms. What are those projects or policies that you think government is in a hurry to do that you should hold on with for now?
Our interest as labor is conditions of service. The Constitution enjoins us to promote and protect the economic and social interests of our members. Obviously, in considering this, there are incidental issues that we talk about. But this morning, we don't really want to divert our attention. Politicians in this country, anytime we are talking about our interests, anytime we are talking about workers' salaries, then they try to politicize it. So there are a number of things that already there are other civil society organizations and there are other people that have commented on it. Immediately you suggest, people say that you are doing politics. We are not interested in politics because NDC, MPP, they don't put money in our pocket. It is only our work and the little that we are able to negotiate that is able to take care of us and our families. And therefore, we want to focus on ourselves. Government has intelligent people. They have the men. Where are the men? The men should put their heads together and restructure policies, and not we. We can actually offer when they sincerely come and say that, Labour, do you also have other solutions to this? And we have always done this. TUC has always done this on the quiet, writing to them. Even this IMF, the TUC has already issued a paper objecting to it and making solutions or recommendations as to things that should be done, things that should be restructured, things that should actually be restructured a little bit. But of course, once government decides that they will do something, whether you are dying or not, he decides to do. So I will not really talk about certain things that I think that the government should restructure. You are also in the media, and you know things that are going on in this country, and things that government is busy doing. It is not for me to say those things this morning. We are talking about our conditions, and if things are hard, let us restructure some of the things and take care of the workers that generate the revenue that we see. And then we can talk about other things.
Grateful you could join us this morning. John Sampah is Deputy General Secretary of the Public Services Workers Union. As he mentioned earlier, they're entering a meeting with government, and we'll keep our eyes on that meeting and let you know what comes out of it. Meanwhile, they're threatening to go on strike on the 19th of July, join the teachers who are already on strike if their demands aren't met. Well, we're moving on to our next conversation, and you know, this is your election headquarters, and on Saturday, when NPP delegates go to the polls to elect their new national executives, we'll be there bringing you all the live coverage and action. But what more should we expect even as we build up to that big event? Do stay. I'll be back shortly.